After spending basically the first month down on the injured list and in the minors, Bryan Woo makes his season debut today for the Seattle Mariners, who have a traditional start time 9:40 p.m. We're not doing the 10:10s anymore, unless it's a Apple TV show, which is really nice. I like it when it's at 9:40. All right, so we are going to be playing the Oakland Athletics, the resurgent Oakland Athletics, who right now are third in the AL West behind Texas 1, Seattle 2, Oakland 3. So these are some very important games for Seattle. It's a 3-game series. I expect Seattle to win games 1 and 2 and potentially drop game 3 if Sebi Zavala starts at catcher. Just because I do not trust him when he starts. Scott Servais did announce that each starter will get an additional day's rest. That's why Bryan Woo has been slated in to start game 1. So I'm going to imagine it'll be Luis Castillo starting tomorrow, followed by the regular rotation of Castillo, then Miller, then Kirby, then Walter, then Woo. But I could also see Walter and Kirby switching for the 3 and 4 spots because Walter's looked really good this year. Mariners have 1 day off over the next 1 day off over the course of 31. Next day off is Thursday, then June 3rd. Woo looked pretty good in his rehab start, so I'm excited to see how that continues up at the major league level. Now, the Mariners, if they strike out 1 time today, and the Red Sox don't strike out 32 times before that strikeout happens, will be the first team in Major League Baseball in 2024 to reach 400 strikeouts on offense. Not good. You don't want that. That's a stat. That's over 10 strikeouts per game. I think we're at 10.6 right now, 10.5 or 10.6 right now, which is not good. The biggest problem for the Mariners is not just the strikeouts, it's when the strikeouts happen. We've had plenty of base runners over the course of our games, but unfortunately these base runners aren't getting moved into scoring position, or if they're in scoring position, aren't getting moved into the plate, which is the problem. Like, Mariners left, I think, 9 on base I think we left like 30 runners on base over the road trip, 30 or 35 runners on base over the road trip. You can't win if you're leaving that many runners on base because you strike out. I do expect the Mariners to win games 1 and 2, potentially lose the 3rd game, depending on how things go with everything. But it is a very important series, very important for the Mariners to actually take care of Oakland here. Today's starter for the Oakland Athletics is Paul Blackburn, who's actually done pretty well through the 42 innings he's pitched this season with a 3.0 ERA and a 3-1 record. So that's a pitcher that the Mariners may struggle with. It's going to depend on what they can do with runners on base, runners in scoring position, and things of that nature. The fewer strikeouts the Mariners have, the better chance they have of winning. I do suspect that Dom Canzone and J.P. Crawford will be back by the end of the month from the injured list, but not on the team yet. I expect them both to be back by mid-June, just based on what I've been hearing from Goldie and Dave on the broadcast. What I would hope is that we are not in Dave and Blowers talking about not baseball by the 4th inning like Goldie and Blowers yesterday. That was not fun. That was not fun at all. The Athletics are a surprisingly strong team this year. I did not expect them to do well. Just between everything going on behind the scenes with them moving from Oakland to Sacramento and then Vegas. It's a whole thing. Just that, and also the fact that I don't know anybody on the Athletics. I just don't know a guy. And you would think that, on a division rival, I'd know a guy. But no, I don't. Like, there's nobody on the Athletics that I just think, oh, yeah, that guy. Brent Rooker's on their team. I've heard of that guy. But, he's got 49 home runs since 2020 when he made his debut. So that's actually not bad. 797 plate appearances since 2020. So, he's a guy who you would think, maybe he'll be an issue. But he's not a guy who you just know. I just happen to have heard of him because I know he exists from something. There's just something that makes me remember he existed. And it definitely wasn't the 2017 draft.